So obvious, obvious, so obvious, obvious, it's so obvious. What? Obvious, obvious, so obvious. Obvious, so obvious, obvious. It's so obvious, obvious, man. It's so obvious, so obvious. It's so obvious, obvious, it's so obvious. It's so obvious, man. I've been making changes for the better, I gotta do it. But that don't mean I'll be the one that you want me to. And I got the plug, I got the trip on my cake. Bankroll is getting large, so the bigger the safe. So it's 100, 150, 200, 253, 00 plus 180 degrees. I turn around when everybody thought that I wouldn't make it. Show them all what's up. Now the sugar is for the taking. I ain't faking, motherfucker. You know that I'm coming through with a couple 380s, a couple of 22s. I ain't never been the one to talk some shit in the cruise. I ain't like you on my pull up in the whipping and shoot. Government issued pistol sitting on the bed by my pillow. I'm a big fish in the pond, you not but a minnow. And I don't give a fuck, you want more than you got it. I got the money to pay a homie to click it and cock it. It's so obvious, if I'm wrong I don't wanna be right. I brought a pistol, what you think that I wanted to fight? It's so obvious, it's so obvious, man. I'll roll through with a clip and a Glock in my hand. It's so obvious, it's so obvious, obvious, it's so obvious. I broke all my promises, I ain't proud of it. It's so obvious, obvious, it's so obvious. It's hard to live positive, it's so obvious. My prerogative is sobriety, don't be eyeing me. Don't be trying to hate on the side of me, it's so obvious. I'm about to kick up some dust, thinking about how it used to be just make me sick and disgust. And so I switch lanes, up to bigger and better things. These haters wanna see me fall, I guess I'ma let them hang. I let them bang, it's so obvious they don't want it with me. I gotta get me a year cake. You got a problem with me, I'ma solve it. I'm about the money, the paper. Gotta rake it into my pocket to drop on 100 acres. To live with my family, give a damn what you haters think. Let it off and I missed them, but goddamn did I make them blink. I'm a different man, no longer the one I was. When you see me rolling, don't bother to offer drugs. It's obvious, it's so obvious, obvious, it's so obvious. No longer caught in the rut. It's so obvious, if I'm wrong I don't wanna be right. I brought a pistol, what you think that I wanted to fight? It's so obvious, it's so obvious, man. I'll roll through with a clip and a Glock in my hand. It's so obvious, it's so obvious, obvious, it's so obvious. I broke all my promises, I ain't proud of it. It's so obvious, obvious,